Hello everybody. I want to talk about the 3 P's of business: performance, productivity, and profits. Most of us will either own a business or work for a business, even one in the public sector. And most businesses exist to make a product or service, sell the product or service, and make a profit so they can pay their expenses and garner money to live their life. Therefore, understanding how a business is judged is often an important lesson. In general, a business is judged by how well they meet these 3 factors. First is performance. Are employees performing as expected? This is a simplistic question, but one with a challenging answer. To ensure that your employees are performing, you must first hire the right person for the job, which means you have to produce a clear job description that details the knowledge and abilities an employee must possess. The organization must create an effective performance evaluation system, utilize it regularly, and ensure employees are rewarded and counseled when they don't meet expectations. Finally, the organization must have a clear set of goals and objectives that guide an organization's direction. This is how an employee and the organization they work for performs. Second is productivity, a term that means different things to different people, and it's often a term that some can't define. Productivity is a calculation of the outputs received based on the inputs utilized. It's the number of products or services that have been produced given the number of employees, raw materials, and resources to produce them. The ultimate goal of nearly any organization is to produce more products and more services, but to use fewer employees and fewer resources to produce them. If an employee produces 20 widgets in an hour, but through a minute change in the processes, the employee can now produce 30 widgets an hour, the organization has increased their productivity by 50% without any increase in cost. Mandel said at one point that when more can be produced, profits and wages increase, as do living standards, and I agree with what he said. Unfortunately, an organization needs fewer workers when you have rising productivity, which is one reason why productivity hasn't been the greatest panacea that we thought it would be for employee growth and development. Higher productivity results often in fewer jobs. Third is profitability. Profitability at its core is the amount of money left over after all the expenses have been paid. Whether a profit or non-profit, organizations exist because they have money remaining after their expenses are paid. Most believe nonprofits do not make a profit, and technically that's true. However, nonprofits would not exist if they couldn't generate enough money to pay their expenses. For-profit organizations, of course, exist so that the owners can generate funds in excess of their expenses. Few organizations exist over the long haul to cover their expenses. They must have more revenues than expenses. Workload, stress, pressure of running a business can be great, and they can affect the profits. But the reason you take on those occurrences is because you expect to have profits at the end of the day, month, or year. A profit can be generated through a number of mechanisms, though, including sales, which is what most people generate profits from, but also a rise in the stock price and through the sale of capital and equipment. At its core, in order to meet the objectives of an organization, employees, including management, must perform. Metrics and studies are generated and reviewed to determine organizational performance, but fewer organizations perform over the long term without competent employees, wise management, and a worthwhile goal. That should be the focus of management and employees alike as they build an organization that can sustain a competitive global environment. And never forget, it should be fun, because if you can create a business or work for a business that is fun, you rarely will ever want to leave. It'll make you want to enjoy the ride and also to be successful as well. If life is to be lived in order to be enjoyed, then finding the right business and the right organization is a key to that ride. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day.